We have the X-lite here tonight. Comes in this nice fancy case. This fancy case comes in a cardboard box. So instead of showing you the cardboard box, skip that, get right to the good stuff. Obviously, I've opened this already once before, but the only difference right now is that it's not wrapped in plastic. These are two little pieces of tape holding the battery things on. So we're just going to gloss over that, get right into the good stuff. So we got this piece of foam. We don't need that. You can see it comes with gimbal guards. They don't really stay on though. They're great for in the case, so definitely hold on to those. There's the beauty right there. All the mention. Went with black. Um, red's not really my style. So here's the controller, rather transmitter. Get some foam protecting these things. Foam back here, really just for packaging. It still sits in there pretty good. You got to press it in, and not any wiggle. As far as extra goodies, let's get this out of the way too. Get some more foam up there. So these switches are for another Tyrannus I'm preparing. So a little gift from Purpose. And the thing that matters the most is this little screw kit. We're going to play with that in a little bit. You also get a sticker pack here. Thank you, FrSky. And your instruction manual, which I'm not going to read. Get this out of the box. Put that up here for now. So these screws, this is how you're going to modify tension and the mode of your transmitter. Do that a little bit later. But I just want to point out here quickly, these holes are where the screws go in. Turn them in a certain direction, and that way you don't have to take it apart to modify the gimbals. See that they both come self-centering, so it's not in mode 1 by default. The X9Ds came that way too, except you had to take the back off, at least if you ordered them directly. So this is FrSky 2.4 gigahertz transmitter known as the X-lite. It's probably a little bit bigger than a modern Xbox controller, bigger than a Shield TV controller. It's a nice size for me personally. I have large, not amazingly large hands, but I have decently sized hands. And I have very little difficulty going all the way full deflection as a thumber, which is pretty nice, but you still have quite a bit of physical range. Gimbals feel extremely smooth. They're the M12 gimbals. It's a new one from FrSky, but they do have the Hall effect sensor, CNC machining, all those buzzwords. Up on top, you have two position switches. Your little dials here, and two 3-position switches. Also, underneath this plug, if I can get this out really quickly, you have an SMA. That SMA is for if you want to add an external antenna. This unit does have internal antenna, and an internal antenna or 2 internal antennas, I forget. This is not required to use this transmitter. Also, if you're familiar with doing the SMA mod on the Tyrannus, I do not think the standard Wi-Fi antennas that we use when performing that mod are actually going to fit in that hole. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I can't fathom the reason today why you want to, like, they're not offering a better antenna than what's inside of here, so I'm not sure what the point of that is just yet. maybe if you're using a ground station and you have some, lossless coax and you have some antenna you're using, I guess. Before we get into the main interface, some people are going to be wondering, where does the battery go? It does not go on the back. That's where they've put their new external port. They're releasing modules for this now. I think it's the R9 Slim. Going to be their 900 megahertz module. That's just going to slide on there and pop onto those pins. Get this nice little texture, rubberized grip. It does feel pretty secure in the hand, but the batteries actually go in here, bottom of the grips. And the kind of battery you're going to want to put in is an 18500. I went on Amazon and bought the largest capacity ones I could find, and that happened to be 1600. I've never used this brand before, EBL, so I can't recommend them, but that's what I went with, and they just fit in there perfectly. Let's see if I can get this back together. I want the pointy tip to the left, and it slides on just like that. Maybe you want the pointy part in? Yeah, I think that's good. So that comes off a little easy, honestly. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable throwing this into a backpack with some like self-adhering, not adhering, but gimbal guards that stayed on by themselves. I wouldn't throw this into the bottom of a backpack. I would fully expect that if it got jostled around enough, these battery things will do themselves if it got bounced around. So just be aware of that. On the bottom, we have the SD card, USB. That's a smart port in there as well, and then apparently a headphone jack. I'm not sure what I want headphones for, unless maybe there's you can get the audible alerts out of the transmitter into your ears. Again, I haven't read the manuals. Weight-wise, it feels pretty good. It does lack the ability to attach a lanyard, so if you're someone that likes to hang transmitter around your neck, there is no way to do that as of right now. You could probably 3D print a cradle for this, set that into a cradle. The weight does seem to be towards the grips. So I'm sure some people will be phase. Bust out the squeezing art. About 380 grams, so a little shy of a pound. That's with batteries in there. So to turn it on, it's reminiscent of the QX7. It'll hold the power button, hit the little blinkies. This is running OpenTX out of the box. Throttle not idle. That's okay. I don't know which one this is supposed to be. Someone mentioned to me that throttle is stuck on the right stick with this current firmware. Try and figure that out as we go. Realize you probably can't see the screen. The backlight goes. Obviously, we haven't set the failsafe yet either. E. And there you go. So it's the open FrSky OpenTX screen you're used to seeing. Not sure how we're going to be able to do this. Let's see if I can turn the backlight off. By default, the joypad, the D-pad plays from your trim, and it does have a haptic feedback built in. You can feel it when you get back to center on there. So first thing I really want to do is adjust this, get it into mode 2. I'm going to power this down, get out a screwdriver, and see if we can't adjust this with some screws. Okay, so we're back, and we have two different size screws. I believe the short ones are to adjust the tension in the gimbal, and the longer one is to um, prevent the return to sleep. So I'm looking to be mode 2, so I want to adjust the left stick here, turn it over from the right. I believe the long one goes into this hole on the left. See if we can, doesn't seem to fit in the hole. Fit in that. These are a little Phillips head. Which way is this? I believe the manual. Okay, so they don't have the instructions in the manual, but on their video in the FAQ section, which I will link in the video description, it says to put the long screw in this hole, adjusting the long screw by turning the screw in a clockwise direction or disabling the center back function of the gimbal. Those are their words, not mine. Let's just put this puppy all the way in, see if maybe it has to go all the way before we can notice anything. Seems to have zero impact. We're definitely not all. Gotta put some pressure on the screw. There we go. I can see it dropping. Okay, and now it's getting a little bit of resistance. Oh, okay. So now there's a little bit of center back left there. Kind of see that. Let's see if it's get a little bit tighter. Really like that. I wonder if I have to just add some resistance. Sorry for the trying to put a good amount of even pressure on this. So I really don't want to strip the screw. It's got a little bounce to it. I don't know if that's a deal breaker or what. Try and tighten it down a little bit. So down it does, up it doesn't. I wonder if we just have to add a little bit of. I feel like this screw is all the way in. Really don't want. That's not FrSky. Come on. Let's do a short screw. And again, I'm going to consult the manual here. I have it up. Short screw is for adjusting the damping and resistance. Soon, they just clockwise. Oh yeah, that's getting a little better. Unlike the X9D, it seems like they have not implemented the, I really don't know what it's called, inside with this thing. But if you go too loose, there is still a little bit of bounce. I could live with this. That'll smooth up a little bit. Actually, it's still pretty smooth. I'm saying the resistance will vary a little. Okay. So now that that's done, they give us these little plugs. I don't know if we can actually loosen up the whole vertical or the horizontal. I don't know if we can actually modify the horizontal feel of this gimbal. Maybe you can if you open it up, loosen it up a little bit. But they give us these little caps. Okay, there you go. And yeah, they don't even, you couldn't feel those anyway. You're not, fingers can't even feel those. Okay. Let's see if we can get this into mode 2. Throttle not idle. Still safe. So it's still in mode 1. And I turned the backlight off, but it didn't seem to stick. So now it's off. I wonder if when you start it up, the backlight's on. Okay, so that's mode 1. We want to be mode 2. Now we set it to mode 2. Let's see if the throttle works. Failsafe not set. Throttle warning's gone. So whoever mentioned that little firmware to me, Model 1. I think the last thing to do is to figure out how to bind this puppy. We go to the right, Model 1, go to the right again, the model name, I'm going to call it A for right now, I don't want to bore you guys too much. Antenna internal, D16, pulse, normal. Antenna internal, interesting. So it knows that there's no antenna on here. That's to check it. Or maybe it just assumes that I'm ready, which I guess I appreciate. So this is receiver number 1. We're going to go into bind. Oh, okay, this is where you're going to bind channel 1 through 8. Hear the beep. I have a quad sitting right over here, ready to get bound up. This is a 6-inch 6S on an Astro switch with 6-inch arms and a Radix stack. Pretty baller quad. It's got the 1722s from Hero Flip. Looks like it's bound up. Green light, red blinking. Kill it. Get out of here. A. Right. Fire the quad back up. We have telemetry. So it bound up. Okay, great. So pretty simple out of the box. The screws are a little sketchy there for a minute. Putting metal screws into plastic blindly is not something I'm overly fond of. The feel is great. Weight seems really good. I'm happy with the gimbals. This is just the right amount of twitches for me. The form factor is great. Even though I do use a neck strap, I traditionally didn't for a long time, and I still don't really rely on it. I use it mainly just for security. So I'm pretty happy with this. Too bad I run Crossfire, but that's another topic for another day. We're going to leave it right here. Goodbye. Thanks for tuning in.